Democratic Republic of Congo is the size of Western Europe and is located in the heart of Africa with an estimated population of 65 million. Over 6 million people have died due to the mineral conflict since 1996, which is more than the Jewish Holocaust. 45,000 people continue to die each month, which is more than having an Asian tsunami every 6.5 months, and a September 11th every 2.5 days. Every 48 hours, a woman is raped in the Congo. The international community is systematically looting Congo's spectacular wealth. My family lives in the Congo. Congo contains 64% of the world's coltan, 34% of the world's cobalt, 10% of its copper, has the world's second largest rainforest, the hydro capacity to provide electricity for the entire African continent, Southern Europe, and the Middle East, and the agricultural capacity to feed the entire world until 2050. My family should be rich.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask the question, really, we've heard about some serious atrocities in the Congo on the scale of the Holocaust, but we want to know who are the perpetrators? Who is responsible for these crimes against humanity? Well, normally, as with most atrocities, there's actually a money trail, and we can follow it. So let's begin. Joseph Kabila. Joseph Kabila is the current president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I say that with a very lukewarm feeling because he was put into office under very controversial circumstances, to say the least. His father, Laurent Kabila, was president before him, was assassinated, and he later on became president in an election that is widely believed to be fraudulent. Protests took place in the Congo on a regular weekly basis against it. However, his power remains, and he too is complicit indirectly in the actions and the atrocities in the Congo. Remember, the Congo is not a monarchy, it has a constitution. The president dying does not mean his son goes into power. Rwanda. Now, in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo is where the atrocities are taking place. There is an illicit trade in minerals, the aforementioned coltan, which is present in almost all of our electronic devices. The rebel group in the eastern region of the Congo, the M23, who were formerly integrated into the Congolese Defense Forces, by themselves really are small in number, just a few hundreds. They themselves don't have the power to do this, and this is where Rwanda comes in. Rwanda is a small state that borders the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that has been complicit in arming and funding these rebel groups. To bring the United Nations report that was published in 2012 actually very directly states the Rwanda's role in the Democratic Republic of Congo, saying, quote, "The government of Rwanda continues to violate the arms embargo by providing direct military support to the M23 rebels, facilitating recruitment, encouraging and facilitating desertions from the armed forces of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and providing arms, ammunition, intelligence, and political advice." Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame is the head of state of Rwanda and part of a new, quote-unquote, new generation of Renaissance African leaders that are particularly close to the United States. Alongside Joseph Museveni, who is the president of Uganda. Paul Kagame has played a direct role in instituting state policy of Rwanda to support these invasions of the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo, to support this illicit trade in minerals that are not exported directly from the Congo, but are smuggled from the Congo into Rwanda, and then therefore are exported from Rwanda. Paul Kagame has the blood of millions of Africans on his hands. The United States. Now, it's actually relatively difficult to find an atrocity on the global scale that the United States isn't involved in, being the largest imperialist power. And this one is no different. The United States, through AFRICOM, which is the United States Military Commission in Africa, has played a direct role in providing military, logistical, diplomatic, and political support to Rwanda. Remember, Rwanda is actually a very small and very poor country. Population of about 10 million, GDP per capita of about 1,000, very poor. Yet the UN document copiously details the use of some very sophisticated military technologies in the Eastern Congo, where they are looting night vision goggles and some things that a poor country like Rwanda should not be able to afford. This is actually provided directly by the United States. James Karabe, the Rwandan defense minister, has been directly implicated in training the M23 rebels in the Eastern Congo. And these are people who will receive their training from the United States government and the United States foreign mission. Furthermore, the United States plays a significant role in giving diplomatic aid, whereas last year, when there was a recent invasion by Rwanda, the Assistant Secretary of Defense, Susan Rice, played a role in blocking a Security Council resolution which was condemning Rwanda. The resolution was going to condemn Rwanda and Uganda specifically for their role in the atrocities, which is highly documented. And Susan Rice played a role in having their names removed from it. So now the resolution says we are calling on all external forces to stop supporting the M23 rebels. When the UN document itself, that the UN Commission says explicitly that it is Rwanda and Uganda who are these external forces. We know who the external forces are, but unfortunately, because of the role of the United States, Rwanda is able to carry out these atrocities. And as I mentioned before, into the United Nations. The United Nations has been politically impotent, unable to take any proper action, be it sanctions or even political condemnation towards the agents that are responsible apart from the M23. And this is, of course, directly because the United Nations has allowed itself to, unfortunately, act as a tool of the United States and of geopolitical power machinations. The United Nations, through their silence, is complicit in genocide. But, in a way, most importantly of all, the people who are the perpetrators, who are indirectly or near indirectly responsible for the atrocities, is you and I. It is our money that actually goes towards the atrocities in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. 6 million people have died, so your phone can vibrate. So you can turn on your new laptop, so you can cop the new iPhone. And every time we spend money towards these electronics, we are supporting horrible atrocities. It is up to us to take a stand right now and simply demand that we will no longer fund genocide. We will no longer support rape in the Congo. We are demanding that any electronics that we consume, that our money pays to consume, is not mined from this region, is not supporting armed groups that blood is not on its hands. And so that brings us to what we are about. We at the Conflict-Free Campus Initiative, mainly we are serving the purpose of putting pressure on the university administration to at least enlist a policy where it will no longer purchase contracts for electronics that are mined in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In other words, to establish a set of standards on the materials that we consume, to simply say that if the University of Warwick is going to award a certain corporation with a contract, the corporation at least has to prove to them that this contract is not tainted in the blood of millions of people in Central Africa. And that is really what we're about. We are about taking a stand, because at the end of the day, evil only prospers if good people sit back, sit aside, and do nothing about it. Media coverage on the Congo, unfortunately, has been non-existent, or very little, or at least hasn't shown it within the context of the realities that are going on. A pin can drop in Palestine, which is a legitimate conflict, but a pin can drop there, and 1,000 cameras swoop over it, and 1 million people can die in the Congo, and nobody looks, nobody listens. We are here to bring publicity and to bring attention towards this egregious issue.